I how do I switch this around? Uh, I I don't know if there's a way to switch it around. Anyway, like switch the camera. Anyway, I wanted to show my book for well, this is my view all day. That's what I look at because I can't watch TV. But I wanted to show this. This is my notebook for exercise, and I've never hurt myself with this. In the process of learning it, I've strained myself a bit and overdone it, but I got it down to a system where I'm able to exercise and not injure myself, and this is with very weak ligaments. Um, so like I have Lyme and bartonella, and that I think the bartonella more than the Lyme is. I had it for years, as found out by Serenity Health in Wisconsin telehealth, which I recommend everyone get tested. If you're like, I have cervical instability and I don't know why, you know, yeah, I wasn't in a car crash. I just, sitting at the computer as we all do. And, but for me, that was a problem. And now I can't stand upright or whatever. Hell, I've met a lot of people like that, and they start having joint problems in their shoulders and their hips and for no reason. And, uh, and they get tested for Lyme and Bartonella, and the Western blot test says they do not have it. But if you get tested at Serenity Health, then you do. Anyway, they take insurance. So yeah, get tested there, uh, and it's because if you have it and you're trying to battle your connective tissue problems, that could keep destroying your connective tissue while you're trying to get better, and you could do all the craniocervical fusions and regenerative therapy in the world and just keep getting worse anyway and never get better. So it's something you need to get tested for if you have instability in your neck and joint problems and you don't know why. Um, so I got this thing here. And what I do is I do like I started off. I rewrote this because like you run out of room. Um, but like what I'll do is I've got 4 days, and so you can see the numbers crossed out there. That means like I started off with that, and that day I was like I could do one more, and I cross out the number, I put the new number, and then eventually I run out of space and I have to rewrite the pages. So, but I've got 4 days. Day one, day two, day three, day four, and I don't do the same exercise in any of the days. And it's not important. The exercises aren't necessarily important here. These are just random exercises. Like these are for your shoulders, shrugs, right? So I step on the bands and I pull them up. I step on the bands like I'm holding a band in my left hand, holding a band in my right hand, and then and I'm stepping on them in the middle, and I'm shrugging my shoulders, or I'm holding them and standing on my tippy toes, and then I can do that 30 times. But when I started, I did it like 10 times, and it was really easy even for 10, and I was leaning up against a wall. So like I had uh, like severe instability in my neck, and it's still really bad now. A lot of it is atrophy because I was in bed. I got PICL treatment that helped a lot. I can walk without like a neck brace for short periods of time. But my neck is exhausted after like it's just like you ever run like a long distance and your muscles are just burning and they're stiff, and that's how it feels now. Like I overdid it last week. It wasn't with this has never hurt me, but I was like I feel okay. I'm gonna do more than I normally do. I walked around a lot more than normal, and I watched TV, and of course I'm all screwed up now. But I've never hurt myself in any kind of major way. I felt like a little bit of a strain, but I've never hurt myself in any major way with doing this, where you're increasing in small increments that you write down and you follow. You don't do more and you don't do less. Well, I guess you can do less if you're like, man, I don't know, I'm feeling like really stiff today. I slept funny or I didn't sleep. You know what? I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna skip I'm gonna take an extra day of rest. You could do that, but don't do more. Like if you do more, you do like if you did 10 reps last week or last time you exercised, do 11. Don't do be like I feel good. I'm gonna do 20 like that. Don't do that. Um, and the idea is you're exercising your bicep, but you're still having to balance your body in the bicep exercise. So you're using your neck some. So you have to give your neck time to catch up. And if you have connective tissue problems in general, like I do, your connective tissue, for me as a 40-year-old man, takes about 4 days for it to catch up. Like my muscles are where I could do exercise every other day, but my connective tissue is like, no, every 4 days. If you want to keep doing this every 4 days, like you can't do this every other day. So whereas when I was 20, I could do the exercises every other day, and it was fine. I, lift weights every other day, and so I got so these I start off with like 10 on those, and then eventually over months I've gotten up to like 30. Like I'd increase it like one at a time. Vertical press, side press, front shoulder. So it's like if you're like raising your arm in front of you like this, or like out to the side like that, or like vertical like that. Chest presses like that, like laying down, all leaning up against the wall or laying down. But then eventually I got to the point where it's like I would try a couple reps away from the wall. And then, I do 2 reps away from the wall, the rest on the wall. The next time I did it, 3 reps away from the wall, and I kept track of that. And eventually now I don't do anything leaning up against the wall. And it's comfortable. So I got like a set of reps. I do 1 hour outside, which is really good for relaxation, which is, it's important to not be in fight or flight. For if you're panicked and you're really stressed, your muscles won't heal and your ligaments won't heal and your tendons won't heal nearly as fast. Like I've been so stressed to the point where I'll work out and then I'll be weaker the next time, whereas you should be stronger. Um, so and then I've spent times where I like really focus on like every time I'm panicked, I'm like calm down, just put yourself in a good spot. And it's a fight. It's not like oh I'm magical and I'm like a monk and I just say the word and I'm calm. No, it's like I have to when you first try to calm yourself down when you're stressed, you suck at it. It's just like exercise. And the more you try to calm yourself down, the more you find stuff that works. Imagining you're in a better place, thinking about the positives, whatever. You can figure out what works for you, but you can try to calm down. Every time you're stressed, you're like, no, I'm not going to get stressed. No, I'm not going to think about that. No, I'm not going to think about that. No, I'm not going to. And eventually you stop automatically. You don't have to tell yourself, I'm not going to think about that. You just stop thinking about that thing that stresses you out because you keep telling yourself, keep pushing it away. So you can keep trying to get yourself in a place where you're like, my life's great. Even though it sucks. Even though your life sucks and you're like dying and nobody gives a shit and all your friends left and all your family left and nobody and people are like, yep, he's dying. Oh well. And you're pretty much abandoned by all of society and doctors are lying to you and care more about their ego than your life and life is absolute fucking bullshit. And yeah, instead of thinking all that, putting yourself in a better place and being more content than you were when you were healthy. That's the goal. It's not easy. Anyway, very important. So, geez, it's probably not good for me to have this on for recording. Anywho, that's red light. It's good for your ligaments in your neck. It's got infrared, and it's not bullshit. It's like my uncle has a camera that can see infrared, and he took a picture of it, and you could see it on the infrared setting only, where to the human eye it looks like nothing's on, and then it was purple. So it's emitting ultraviolet light, not infrared, ultraviolet light. I think. Anyway, it's different wavelengths. So I got this. Yeah, so I also did like stretching here, like yoga, side bends, right? Like yoga, if you have CCI, it's like Jesus Christ, like yoga, like I can't do that. So So I did when I first started. I did like 3 side bends where you're like, your legs are together and you put your arm up and you lean over and you're looking up. Like I forget what that's called. There's a yoga name for it. And I did that and that was fine because if I did it for and I did it for like I did 3 for like uh or no, I'm sorry. It's the time I did it. I did it do it once, but I did it for like 10 seconds. And I did 10 seconds the other way. And that's fine. But if I had done it for like 30 seconds the first time, I would have screwed my neck up. It would have hurt my back. I would have had all kinds of neurological symptoms. But I did what was like super easy for me. If like you're like, okay, I'm real sketchy, I'm gonna do 2 seconds. You go like that, and you go like that. You're like, you feel like, oh, 2 seconds, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, but next time you do 3 seconds, and then after 4 days you do 4 seconds, and after another 4 days you do 5 seconds, and then you get to the point where you're doing 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and the next day you don't feel anything. You don't feel like, oh, I'm worse for doing that. You don't feel anything. There's no neurological effects. You're getting stronger at holding that position. Your body's adapting, and you're not injuring yourself because you're going so slowly. So that's the idea. This is much slower than like a normal person's exercise routine. So and then cat cows, which were like impossible. I started off with just one for 10 seconds. This is after PICL, right? Before PICL, I tried to do cat cows. Like you hold up for 10 seconds, then you tuck in for 10 seconds, and you hold that. And I did that twice, and I had severe neurological symptoms. 2 months after PICL, I was like, I'm not even going to try to. I feel stronger. I'm going to do one for 10 seconds. And I was scared, but it felt fine the whole way through. And I did it, and the next day I was fine. So, and then I did two. Um, and you can increase it more slowly. Like if you're like, you know what, let me do it one for 12 seconds, each way, one for 14 seconds each way, and then eventually get up to 20, and then add another one. So do two sets of like up and down, and for it to say, you know, one for 20 seconds up, one for 20 seconds down. Then we're gonna start doing a second one, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Next time, 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down after a first set. So on your second set, you're increasing that incrementally, so you can go real slow. So I'm able to do cat cows, and that's fine. Doesn't bother me. Head rolls, meaning like all the way around, and like all the way around, and like I couldn't do that. I started off with like one of those, another 4 days in between, and then I do like 9 in a row, like around and around and around, like 9, and then around and around and around 9, both ways, and it's fine. And I might stop at 9 for a while, just because it feels like there's a bit of tension there, and I don't want there to be any negative. I don't want there to be anything. Uh, like the idea with the exercise is you don't want to be to the point where like normally you could be like, I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be sore and then recover for like a week. You don't want to get to that point. You want to be like, it's an easy recovery. You don't feel sore the next day. You don't feel pain while doing it. You're not pushing yourself that hard. Just a little bit of pushing yourself, and that's it. Because you have to think about the connective tissue. This is not you're playing on a football team and you need to push yourself hard. This is you don't ever want to be in pain. You don't ever want to be straining yourself because your connective tissue is weaker. And I'm not the only person that says this. Like knees over toes guy who does phenomenal recovery. He doesn't do a neck routine, but he does like if you look up knees over toes guy for your knees, he'll take your knees where you can barely walk upstairs and make it so you can run again. And he is like you should never be in pain. Not while doing the exercise, not after. Your joints should not hurt and they should not burn. They should not be pain. That's how light he does it. Um, so yeah, that doesn't mean you don't ever feel exertion. If I'm pushing, I'm like pushing weight, and like on the 10th one, I'm like, eh. It's there's a little bit of like strain on the end, but I feel no pain in my shoulder, no pain in my elbow, no pain in my wrist, just some slight exertion in my muscle. That's fine. And then some stretching down here, some additional stretching where I take two hands, put them above my head together, stretch my shoulders out, arm circles from standing up and like, you know, moving my arm around, and then like go the other way, move my arm around, which I do like. I can't do sitting, but like I do like full range of motion, just because I sit all day. So then you know I have like another set of exercises day two. I do pec flies and squeeze a ball, do my wrist exercises. I'm up to 19 push-ups with no negative effects. Some chin tucks, another hour outside, neck rotation. Laptop I started using because the laptop you have to maintain good posture with craniocervical instability. It's very hard for me to use a screen on a laptop. I don't use neck support. I'm just at the laptop maintaining good posture, using that that's every 4 days. Upstairs lounge is just like there's a lazy boy, which is different seating than this, which means my body's in a different position. 30 minutes, some additional stretching, glutes, laying down, bicycles, back maybe like a yoga thing, pull up hangs hanging from a pull up bar. 5 is 5 seconds. Pull up blue bands, meaning I'm not actually doing pull ups. I put the bands over the pull up bar and get on my knees and pull it down in a pull up motion because it's too hard for me to pull up my whole body right now. It's stress, it hurts my body. Walk backwards up a hill, good for my knees. Ride bike, no neck support. I started off with like 1 minute. Now I'm up to 11. Real photos is just a hobby, scanning photos. Ankle bands, like I wrap ankles around, and I'm like, I have like bands that go around my ankles, and I go like this, and I'm like this way, and like that to strengthen my ankles. So chin to chest head curls, meaning like I go like this, and then up, and this, and then up, because it's a full range of motion exercise for my neck. Whereas like if you're doing chores, you're just kind of like this. Whereas like you want the full range of motion is better for fully exercising your rehabilitating a joint. So for example, if my elbow hurts, like if my elbow is bad and it hurt, like say I grab something heavy and I hold it like that and like right up in there, like it hurts real bad. That it's bad for me to hold a weight there, but if I'm doing curls all the way through the range of motion with light weight, that rehabilitates the joint. Like this rehabilitates the joint. Like this, just leaning forward and holding it does not rehabilitate the joint. So you want to do full range of motion where you can, if you can safely do it comfortably. Like I started off with doing that once, and then 4 days later, I did it again twice, and then 4 days later, I did it again. You know, and if you can't even do it unassisted, you could do this where you're holding your head and you're just like this, and so you're giving your head some support and doing that once, and then you do it twice, and then after you get up to like 10, maybe you do one carefully unassisted, and then the rest, you know, just be very careful. You don't want to hurt yourself. Um, Walk to the coffee shop. I do that once every 4 days. Just walk. I don't really go to the coffee shop. I just walk there and back. And I slowly worked up to that. First, I walked to the mailbox. Then, 50 steps beyond. I had like this. So I walk like 50 steps beyond that. Like tracks to Fitbit tracks my steps. And then 50 more and 50 more. And eventually, I get to the point where I go to the coffee shop. Yeah. So sitting upright for 30 minutes with no neck support, just like I have like the computer chair or like the couch upstairs, just practicing sitting with no neck support because you got to build up those muscles. Lunges, blue band rows. I do some chin curls where I hang off the bed, so my neck's hanging upside down, and I'm tucking my chin to my chest to build up those muscles. And I start off with just one of those and work my way out. And none of these things have hurt me, but I've hurt myself like being like, I feel good today. I'm gonna go walk another mile, or I feel good today. I'm going to watch TV, and for some reason, screens like hurts my neck really bad. Like it tightens up the muscles around the top of my spine, like up here, and they burn, and I don't know why. Um, and it hurts really bad. So yeah, so yeah, I can't really watch TV or use a computer much. Part of it, I think, is just I don't know. I think it's just always done that ever since I was a kid. Like I've always, my neck's always done that. Maybe I was always unstable. I don't know, but I know that they tighten up, and then those muscles get tight and exhausted, and then I try to walk, and I can't walk because I can't hold my head up. So I'm like, I'd rather not use a screen and be able to walk. And so now I'm like paying for it pretty bad because I watched a football game. So it really stinks. Anyway, that's what I'm doing to get stronger. And I gained 13 pounds. I was 142 and now I'm 155. And I'm a lot stronger. Like I can get up and like do some arm curls and I use 8 pound weights currently. I'm up to like 17 reps. So I think once I get to 20, once I get to 20 reps on a weight, then I increase the weight. So I'll go up to 10 pounds and then get some 10-pound dumbbells. And then I'll go back down to say, I don't know, we'll see how I feel, but probably 10 reps. And then go to 11 and then 12 and then but maybe I'll go to 8 reps or 7 reps starting off and then go to 8 and then 9 and I just want it to be easy when I start. It's better to be too easy than a little too hard because your body will adapt and then and eventually you'll get there. You keep increasing numbers, you're going to keep getting stronger. So that gives me something to hold on to because I'm so messed up. Like I can say, all right, I'm going to keep I'm really screwed up, but I can say like 2 months ago I couldn't lift 5 pounds, and now I can lift, 8 pounds 16 times, 3 times. I do 3 sets, every 40. So it's like I'm getting stronger. My weight on the scale is getting stronger. And if I just keep getting stronger and keep getting stronger and keep getting stronger and keep getting stronger, I can keep walking further, keep sitting up more, keep using the computer more, keep maybe driving a car more because I could start driving at like, drive for 5 minutes, drive for 6 minutes. So, oh, yeah. So that's what I do to exercise. Just whatever I want to do, I can do it, but I gotta do it easy, and I gotta do it slowly over time and increase it. That's the important part. It's not necessarily that I'm doing curls. It's just what I'm doing for exercise is slow and easy.